Hello there, and welcome to the part two of my students, my advisor project. And in the previous video, we were able to complete some set of tasks. We were able to create the home controller, the student controller. We were also able to create the advisor controller with their different actions and pages. We were able to set up our bootstrap. We were able to add necessary footers for our layout pages. We set up our database for the students and the advisor. We created our entity framework, and we set up our background for the index page in our home controller. We also were able to do everything concerning the student controller, the index page, the sign up, how we handled the models, we also handled the controllers, the whole checking, the sign up details, the form validations, storing data into the database, and all the necessary things, and also the assigning of the advisor randomly. So we were able to do that. So we are going to move over to the advisor controller in this part 2. So once again, grab yourself a cup of drink, whatever drink you like, and let's have a deep dive. Alright, so we're going to go and begin by setting up our index page. So let's look at the demo and let's see how it looks like. So when we go over to the advisor, this is the advisor index page. It looks exactly like the home page. The only difference is it has the sign up and the login. So we're just going to copy the same thing we have in our students index page and replace it with the necessary things. So I go over to my Solution Explorer, my student view. I go over to the index and I simply copy, Shift Control and copy this, and then I go over to my advisor index and I paste this here. So okay, and of course I have to change this to advisor sign up, advisor login. Alright, so I believe the index page is set up. So the next would be our sign up page. So let's also take a look at the demo and see how it looks like. So if we go over to the sign up, this is what we have here. We have the title, the surname, first name, last name, and all that's all centralized. It kind of looks like that of the student sign up. So we're just going to copy what we have in the student sign up and make the necessary changes. So I'm going to go ahead to the student's view and go to the sign up and copy, Control Shift and Control C, then go over to yes, the sign up for the advisor, then paste it. Right, so because we don't have any models in our page, this properties of flagging errors, so we have to sort that out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the necessary model for the sign up of the advisor. So at the top we have @model space the name of your project. I think mine is my first ASP project dot models dot advisor. Yes, that one. Remember, we didn't change the name, so it's going to be table. Yes, so that's the model for the advisor. I'm going to change this from it's still sign up. I'm going to change this to advisor, so it submits to the advisor controller. And we're going to have first of all, we're going to have the title, which is a drop down. And so we have a drop down somewhere here. Yes, so I'm going to copy this, Ctrl C, and I think that's the first thing we have before the first name, and paste it here. And definitely we're going to replace this. We don't have a level property in the advisor. What we have is the title. Yes, and then we're going to create an array of a list of titles at the top. Alright, so I've created an array. So string title equals to Mr., Miss, Mrs., Doctor, and Professor. So that's the title, and that's what we're going to use for the drop down of the title here. So I delete this and replace it with title. Yes, delete this, replace it with title. Oh no, okay, yeah, yes. Alright, so this would be select title. Yeah, so that's for title. And we have the first name, and we have the surname, then the last name, then the department. Then we don't need the level. Yeah, of course, the advisor should not have a level. And of course, we don't need a registration number, and so we take this out also. And okay, we need an email, we need a phone number, we need a password, we need a confirmed password. And then let's see if there's something else from the demo that we're missing out. So from the demo, we sign up. So the surname, first name, last name, department. This is not reg number because it's auto saving. So this is the email address. Okay, yes, so we don't have the office address, so we're going to add that. Okay, so we could use this. I'm going to copy this to C and then paste this, and it's going to be enter office address, and I'm going to change this from phone to address. No, I think that was room number. Yes, Control C and replace it here. Okay, we don't need a phone error here anymore. Alright, okay, now what else, any other thing? Okay, so the phone number, then the password, that's just it. Okay, the surname came before the first name, so for it to be uniform, what we're going to do is take the surname first. Alright, so I believe this is done. for the sign up page, and we could as well okay, so the next thing we're going to deal with quickly is our form validation. So we're going to go over to our table. So this is our advisor table, so we're going to add the necessary validation. And of course we don't need the required for advisor ID. So remember, at the top of every property that you want to validate, you add your required yeah, and of course the suggestion using system, the component models, the data annotation is what we're going to use. And you will have the error message. So we did this with the student model, so we won't spend so much time on this. So we're just going to multiply, replace the necessary details. Okay, so we're done, and we have the necessary required information for the form validation, and the validation messages and validation errors. Just like we had for that of the student, we also have for that of the advisor. So I think our form validation is set. So next would be to go over to our advisor controller, and then we begin to collect the form. So first we're going to create the ensure what the first we have here is our HTTP GET for the sign up, and then we're going to create a HTTP post method. I copy this and directly under I paste it, and I change this to HTTP post, and then I add the table model, which is what we're going to use to collect the form. So this is going to be sign up. Yes. So whenever the form is submitted, it's going to come in here. So I'm going to pause this here to be sure that when no, this is for the teacher, for the student. Sorry, where's that of the advisor? So when we submit, it's going to go over to the advisor controller. So let's try this out. Let's run it. So here's the sign up. Oh, it's still carrying student sign up. It's meant to be the advisor sign up. So let's change that quickly. Yes, so advisor sign up. Save this, refresh. Yes, so that's the advisor sign up, and I think everything is fine. Let's confirm with the index page, and here's the index page. So if we go over to the sign up, yes, everything seems to be working fine. So let's try submitting some information. So when we submit, yes, so it comes over to the advisor controller to the post action of the sign up, and if we hover about our sign up object, we see the information that we just imputed from the front end. Yeah, so it's working. So the next thing we're going to do is to work on our form validation quickly. So while this is still paused here, I'll just work on it. If model state dot is valid. You go ahead and process the form. We're just going to return view for now. We're still going to set up where we will return to. So else we're going to return you back to the view with the objects. Yes, so I discovered that there was a mistake in our login, so I'll sign up. I think something was repeating itself. We have the title, first name. No, I thought we brought the surname. Did we have it to the wrong place? The surname was supposed to be the first thing. Immediately after the title, we have the surname, and the first name, then the last name, then the department, email, phone number, then the room number, and then the password. Then the first name, last name, first name. Alright, so I think that's fine. So if we go over here, okay, let's continue this. So if we continue this, we didn't fill everything up, so it's going to return the view back with so it says enter a surname, so we didn't enter the surname. So this means that the form validation works. Yeah, so I think the next thing we're going to do is we would not want emails to repeat themselves, so we're going to make sure that when an email has already been signed up, another user cannot use that. So I have to stop this here. And right in here. Okay, of course. Yeah, so we're going to also check for the phone number. So if remember, we have a phone number check method in the extra features dot phone check. So this will be sign up dot phone. So if this is wrong, then it's going to return you back to the view with a phone error, viewback.phone error. That says enter a valid phone number. Okay, else, okay, before we do that, so we're going to also create an object of our database, checking if an email, the email that the user the user imputes while he signs up is not found on the database. So first of all, we're going to add an object of our database at the top. Usually like to put it right before these actions, that's just immediately after the curly brackets of the class, so that the object of that database can be used in every action. So that's going to be, I think, my my student advisor entity. So db is equals to new. Yeah, so that's going to be the object of my database. So email check is going to be db.table, checking the table. Yeah, so that's tables. Sorry, dot where x maps to email. I'm going to change it to lowercase just in case. So where this is equal to sign up dot email dot to lower dot first or default. Yeah, so after we've checked the phone number, then we could say else if email check is not equal to null. That means if it finds another user with the same email, if it finds another user with the same email, this won't be null. So if this is not equal to null, then we're going to have an error message, viewBag.error, which will say email already exists, and then we return the view. Okay, so if that's not the case, then we're going to go ahead and then process the form. So I think this is where this should come in. So here, okay, so to process the form, so we're going to okay, yeah, we'll send it to confirm if the password matches the confirmed password. So sign up dot password, if it's not equal to sign up dot confirm password. We also have another error, viewBag.error. It says password doesn't match. We return the view with the object in it. Yes. All right. So we could go ahead and process the form and submit it. We've processed it, sorry. Yes, so we go ahead and submit at this point. So this actually, we could put it here. So process form, oops, I didn't mean that. Yes, here, that we submit form here. So to submit is going to be db.table, which is the name of the advisor table. Dot, so the I'm going to call the add method, and then the objects, the sign up object is what we're going to add to our database, and then we're going to have a try catch to ensure that this actually saves. So that will be db.savechanges. So if it does change, there's something we need to do here. So if it's before it does save, we also need to assign this advisor to students without an advisor in the same department. Okay, no, we have to do this after we save, because it's when we save that we get the advisor's ID, and that's going to be important. So this is going to come after we save. So and of course, if it's not able to save, we have to return you back to the view with the object sign up, and view bag dot error. For now, leave it as data unsaved. Alright, so we're going to, so if it succeeds to save, then we're going to have to pull a list. To do that, we're going to pull a list of unassigned students in the departments. So to do this, is going to be var students equals to db, that's the object of our database. Then from our students table dot where mapping x to, so we're going to pull a list of students in the same department. We have to change this to lower just in case they're written with different cases. So students of a certain department, so if the students of this department is the same with the advisor's department, yes, that's to lower. And there's an extra condition, and that the student's advisor ID is null. Yes, so what seems to be the problem? Yeah, this, if this is equal to this, and not equal to, okay, why sorry, if it's null, sorry, so if the students, pull a list of students of the same department with the advisor, and the students that the advisor ID is equal to null, that means that they don't have any advisor assigned to them. So we're going to pull that's to list. Yes, so we're going to pull the list. Yes, so what we're going to do here is we're going to assign this advisor's ID to each of the students there. So we're going to have going to make use of a for each loop. So for each student in students, dot advisor ID will be equal to the advisor's advisor ID. And of course, we have to save this, we have to update this, so that's going to be db. What's the problem? Why is it flagging an error? Oh yes. can't seem to understand what the problem could be. Let's try to reason it out. Okay, see, I'm using a double equals to instead of 1 because we are assigning, not comparing. So yes, so we're going to have to save. So db dot entry dot state equals to entity state dot modified. Okay, and of course db dot save changes, and I always like to put this in try catch. Sorry, yeah, double tab, yeah, just to be sure that it saves. And if it doesn't, for now we don't have what it's going to do, but I'm just going to leave it like this for now. So for each student, he gets assigned to the advisor's ID gets assigned to the students. For a list of students of the same department who don't have an advisor assigned to them, so they get assigned. That is after the advisor has been saved to the database. Okay, so I think we should be done. Okay, so that's 4. I have to collapse this so I can track where we are. So this is to assign students, the advisors, to the students who doesn't have an advisor. Alright, so when this is done, we have to return there's something that happens here. So we're going to have to go through the demo. So let's understand how it works. The moment we are done signing up an advisor, let's see how it looks like. So at the demo, when we sign up, fix some random data. So when we submit, so it brings us to another page. That's the advisor's available days, and the advisor gets to select the days that he or she is available. We have a drop down of days, time, and range, AM or PM, end time, and all this. So this is the next view that we need to link to when we're done signing up an advisor. So we're not going to return back to the dashboard yet. So we're going to return to the availability page. So over here, we're going to create a page. Going to call it availability. I always have problems spelling this. Availability. And we're going to, it's not going to be return view, it's going to be return redirect to action. Yes. And this would include sign up objects. So that's what we're going to return. All this. Okay, this isn't necessary again. So I think we're done with the sign up here. So we're going to go straight to the availability. So let's see how it works. public action results oh sorry, I thought I copied this. Ctrl C, so I don't make it different, so I don't spell something different. Okay, so return view, and this collects a parameter of the advisor table. So this is going to be advisor. So we have a view bag dot advisor that will carry the advisor object over to the page. So we're going to return a view, and right click and add the availability view. Yes, advisor layout, yeah, availability. Okay, so we add this. Okay, so from the demo, this is what it looks like. So we're going to just take maybe the sign up and replace it with the necessary details. Okay, so where's the sign up? And Ctrl C. Replace this. Alright, so the server is this that we don't need. We just actually need just one line. So we take all of this away, and we will be left with the button. Of course, we have to add our model at the top, and we're going to make some additions to our model so that it can be able to take these time range and then the days of availability. So first of all, add the model, models.table. So I'm going to go over to the table here. So we're going to add a few more properties to the table based on what we have in the demo. So we're going to add day, available day. We're going to have the start time range, the end time, and the end time range. So first the string, and that will be available day. Next is an int, and that will be start time. Next is a string, and that will be start time range. And I'm going to copy this to save me some time. No, copy, yes, paste. So this won't be start time, this will be end time and end time range. So this are the 5 properties that we're going to add to our table, our advisor table, which will enable us to be able to collect these details in our availability page. So at the top here, we're going to add some necessary arrays. First going to be the days. Monday, So Monday to Sunday. Sorry. Okay. That will be for the days. Then we're going to have the time range. Sorry, and that's going to be an integer. So we'll call this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Then we're going to have the time range. Which is going to be AM and PM. Alright. So now we're going to have just one label. I'm going to change this to availability and make sure I spell it right. Okay. Going to have a number of drop downs. First is the available day, and the list is from days. Select day. So this is going to be form checked inline. Okay. To see, give it space. Press enter. This is going to be for the next one. Would be the start time, and the start time has to do with time. So select time, the space, press enter. So that's why I'm giving the space and I'm bringing this over to the other line, so that you could see what we're doing. So next will be start time range, and that's going to be range. Okay. Then have end time, and that's time. So this is going to be, so we select time. So start time, sorry, this is end time range. So this can't be, select, this is going to be, I usually prefer not to write anything here. Going to have the same here, so that the default is going to be AM. Alright, so I believe this is what we want. We don't have a title validation error here. And I want this button to be in the same line with every other thing. Right, so let's see how it looks like so far. Let's try signing up and then get into the availability page. So let's fill out some random details. Filling up the details, we submit. So we haven't tested if every step of our sign up works perfectly. So of course we put a breakpoint here. So when we hover on this, we get to see what we submitted. Okay, and let's put some breakpoints at some certain places to be sure. So if the model state is valid, it's going to come in here. If it's not, then it's going to come in here. And if it is, going to check the phone number, check if the email doesn't exist. Then if it doesn't, it's going to try. It's going to add the sign up here. So I'm going to also pause at this point. So if it's able to save the data into the database, it's going to move in here. But if it has issues, it's going to go over to the cache. But I'm going to also put a breakpoint here. So before it tries, I want to see the state of the sign up. And I'm also going to put a breakpoint here. So if it catches, we're going to know. And of course, we have the for each loop here that also is to update the database for the students. And I think we're going to have an issue here because for the students, we have something we set to be required, which is the confirm password. If you go over to the student table, look here, we set the confirm password to be required, but we don't have a confirm password in our actual database, columns in our database. But in our student table, we set it to be required. Well, this is out of experience. I know that once you have something like this, you have to give it a default value in your controller before you save it into your database. So back to the advisor controller. Before I update this, I have to add a value to just the default value. If we don't do that, it won't save to the database because the confirm password, which is supposed to be required, doesn't have a value. So I just give it a random value because it doesn't actually save to the database, but it won't let this work. So we're going to continue from where. So we still have a breakpoint here. Okay, so I'm going to put a breakpoint here to be sure that this saves. Alright, so let's continue the code and let's see how it moves. So because the model is valid, it comes in here, and let me put some breakpoints here, sorry, here. Okay, so if the phone number is not valid, it's going to come in here, but I believe the phone number is valid. And if it finds an email that matches, which of course for now is still no, if it finds, it's going to come in here. And if the password and the confirmed password doesn't match, it's going to come in here. If not, it's going to come to submit the form here. So let's continue. Yes, so it doesn't come into any of these conditions. So we're going to add the sign up table, the sign up object to the advisor table. All right. So if this saves, it's going to move over to this line, but if it doesn't, it's going to come over here. So let's continue and see how it moves. So it comes in here. That means that it was able to save to the database. So the next thing is going to pull a list of students. Here we ought to have a condition here, because what if it doesn't find students in the same department with who are not known? So I'm going to need to add a condition here before we look this. So if students dot count is equal to 0, that means if it doesn't find or not equal to 0, yes, then you could perform the whole loop thing. Yes, so let's cut this and paste it in here. Yes, and my breakpoints are gone, so I'll put them back. All right, so if it doesn't find any students, it can't loop in this, then it's going to go straight to return here. But if it finds any students, it's going to loop and then insert those values. So let's continue this. And it didn't find any students, so it didn't come in here. There wasn't any students, so the count was 0. So it didn't find any students, so it's going to go over to the availability action, which we've already created here. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. Yes, so if I continue, it comes in here. So we have the advisor's ID. Then when we continue, it brings us over to the advisor view. So they all stay on one line, but we have to readjust this to, stay on one line. So they take their different lines, but we have to adjust it for all of them to stay on one line. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take out this form control class, so we can have all of them on one line. Okay. Save this and refresh. This is what we want to have. We're going to make some adjustment. No, this shouldn't be Monday. This should be okay. So we're going to make some adjustments. So this should be advisor availability. Then we should have select available days. Then we have to change this from submit to add. So let's make those adjustments. All right, so advisor availability. Then this shouldn't be days. This should be range. Yes, range. Then this shouldn't be submit. This should be add, or we simply put a plus sign. Yes, so let's refresh this and see how it looks like. Yes, so and we could add select available days text. So add the text here, say select available days. Okay. Refresh. Okay, so I think this is black, so we can't see it, so we have to change the color. Or we could come in here directly, put it in the span. Style it to have a color of white. Oops. Yeah, so this is what we want to have here. So select day, select time. This should be start time, and this should be end time, not select time. So we change this to start time. Okay, start time and end time. Yes, so this is what we want to have. So we're going to make this submit button to work, and when we select the day and start time, the range and all that, when we click submit, then we're going to also have a display here that will show the advisor the days that he has selected, and also give him an option to delete. So we're going to make this button to work. I'm going to collect it at the controller. Yes, I think we're going to, for now, for us to be able to work on this, we have to stop the project. And if we're going to stop the project, we will need to get back to the availability again without signing up. So I think what we're going to work on quickly is going to be our login. So we'll stop running the project, then we'll work on our login. We're going to copy the same template that we have for that of the students and adjust it. So this is the login for the students. We're going to make use of it for the advisor. Control C. Okay, go to my solution explorer, to the advisor login. I delete this and replace it with, no, I didn't mean to build. Delete this and paste. Yeah. So what we are going to use to log in, we have to add the model on top. Yes, for the table. And then what we're going to use to log in will not be the reg number, but the email of the advisor. Yes, so email. This validation message is not necessary. But okay, so we change this also to advisor. Remember, we copied this from our student login. So we go over to our advisor controller. We make this HTTP get, and then we create our HTTP post action. Paste, change this to HTTP posts, and then we add the advisor table objects, and this would be login. So we're going to validate by saying if login.email is null or login.password is null, we're going to throw an error message, view bag, that error, fill all fields, return back to the view. With the objects, else we're going to check if the email is in the database. So var email check is going to be db.tables.where x maps to email dot to lower is equal to login.email.to-lower first or default yes, so if email check is null, that means it didn't find an email that matches with what's with the login details, so it's going to throw back an error. Email not found. Going to return back to view for the login details. Else if it finds that, then we compare the password. So if the password that was, sorry, not confirm password. So if the password that's in the database doesn't match the login detail password, we also throw back an error. wrong password. Else, for now, we're going to return the user to the availability action, but later we're going to return him to the dashboard. But for now, availability, usually, sure I spelled this right, so what I'm sending is the data from the database. That's the object, and this is not necessary, so it's going to bring us here also. So let's see how this works. I'm going to refresh this. Yes, I'm going to take this email to login, Ctrl C, from our database. So this is the login we just created. So let's run it and see if it submits. Alright, so this is still carrying student login. We have to change this to advisor. Always forgetting to change that. Advisor, Ctrl S. Alright, so yes, so the browser saved the login details, so we're going to submit with it. But let's be sure our validations are working. So let me delete this and submit. Yes, I say fill all fields. Okay, so yes, so I think it's going to work. So if we submit, this should take us to the availability view. Okay, we post it here, so it's here, and then when we continue, yes, so we're going to be able to make some adjustments here now. So our login works, so we're going to go back to our advisor and let's see how we're going to ensure that this submits and makes the necessary changes. I'm going to stop this project, and then I'm going to change my submit button in the availability. Yes, just have to paste this to be sure I spelled it right. Oh, sorry. This is what did I do here? See, Ctrl C to copy and paste it. Okay, so I spelled it right, and so we're going to create a post action for the availability. So ensure this HTTP gets. We're going to create a post action. Alright, so our post action is also going to take the same parameter with the get action. So what I usually do to differentiate it, because if the both of them are taking the same parameter, it cannot this method cannot be overloaded. So I just usually add a false parameter to any of them so they can be different. So I just put this here. I'm not really going to use it for anything, so it doesn't flag the errors anymore. Yes, so something very important we're going to do, because if we're going to submit anything from this place, we're going to lose the data of our advisor, and we're going to only submit this. So I need to put an input form here of type hidden, and the name is going to be the advisor ID. I hope I spell it right. It has to be exactly the same name with the table. Yes, advisor ID. Okay, so this is what's going to ensure that we do not lose the advisor's detail when we submit this information back to the controller. So I'm going to give it a value at viewbag dot advisor ID. And what's happening here is that from our controller, when we call up the availability page, we have this viewbag.advisor transferred into this page, and this viewbag.advisor is an object of the advisor, and it has the property of the advisor ID, and this is what we're going to assign to the advisor ID when we submit back to the post action of the availability. I hope the information I gave you, they're not too much. So right then, okay, so I'm going to put a breakpoint here to be sure it comes in, and before we, okay, so I'm going to change this name to availability. Yeah, then we're going to pull out the advisor by searching the database to find the advisor with the advisor ID we just passed in. Yes, and then because we are adding, we're going to simply, what we're going to do, we have to ensure some things. First, we have to make sure that the necessary things are filled up. So if availability, so we're going to validate here. This is to validate. So if availability dot available day is null, or availability dot start time is null, or availability dot start time range is null, okay, it can't be zero, it can't be null because it's not nullable, so it's 0 if it's equals to 0. So I'm going to copy from here, Ctrl C, and paste, and change this from start time to end time. Change this from start time range to end time range. So what we have here, so if available day, the start time range, the end time and the end time range are empty, we're going to flag an error, view bag dot error. So we're going to write fill select all options, and then we return back the view. With the object. So why is necessary to return back the advisor is because if peradventure there's an error and we return back to the availability view, we will also need to have the advisor detail also there. So this is very important that we have it here. It's very important that we have it here. So make sure you don't skip this part. Then, okay, so if all necessary fields are filled, next we're going to check else if availability dot start time okay, what I want to do here is, let me write a comment. So check if time range doesn't balance. What I mean here is, if peradventure the advisor selects 2 p.m. as a start time, and or selects 4 p.m. as a start time, and then selects 1 p.m. as its end time, it's not proper. So we have to ensure that this doesn't happen. So how do we work on that? So we're going to need to write some logic here. Inside here, we're going to convert our time into some numbers. So int start time, you want to give it to the default value, and same with end time, default value. Then if availability dot start time range is okay, yeah, so in the start time is going to be availability dot start time. So if the start time range is equal to PM, then start time plus equals 12, right? Yeah, so what this means is, if peradventure the advisor selects 10, so it selects 4 p.m., then that's going to mean that it's going to be 4 plus, so this would mean that it's going to be 4 plus 12, and that will be equal to 16. Yes, so start time is going to be 16, and going to have the same here. So availability dot end time. Okay, going to do the same here. So if end time dot if availability dot end time range is equal to PM, then end time is going to be plus equals 12. Yes, then we can do our comparison. So if start time is greater than end time, then we have to flag an error and say what we say here, time range invalid, and we return back to the view with the object. Yes, so that's if it doesn't move. So if this balances, then else we can go ahead and add time to the database. So for us to do this, we're going to turn it into words, and going to be string availability available time would be, we're going to concatenate so availability dot start time range to availability dot end time availability dot end time range space, then availability dot available day. Yes, so this string is going to be the availability day, and that's going to be the availability time, and this is what we're going to add to our availability of the advisor. But I'm going to put a comma here at the end because I'm going to separate my availabilities by commas. Okay, so then finally my advisor dot availability, not available day, availability will be equal to available time we're going to concatenate it. Okay, so I don't think we need to add this comma here. This is where we're going to add it. So it's going to be concatenated. So going to explain why I'm doing this. So available time, comma. Sorry, comma, available time. So let's reason this out. So for the first time, if he or she submits an available time, and then it's going to let's put this comma after here. Okay, so it's going to add the availability time, then put a comma. Then if peradventure it comes again, all right, yes, this is what we're supposed to do. Yeah, this cell advisor dot availability, comma, available time. Yes, this is better. So the initial availability separated by a comma, then the new one. So if for the first time this is going to be null, then when we add the new one, this is going to be assigned. So when he adds again, this is going to have a new value. Then this is going to be the new available time. So when this is done, we're going to update. So db dot entry advisor. Yes, and we're going to have the same challenge with the password, with the confirm password. So we also have to do this, add, to ensure that our form is not rejected finally. So okay, db.entry.state entity state dot modified. Yes, so try this. db.save changes. If it doesn't work, it still returns us with an error. Time not added. But if it works, we also want to have view bag dot days, which would be the advisor dot availability. This is going to be, now we go to split this into an array. So string days would be advisor dot availability dot split. We're going to split it by commas. So it's into an array. We could loop over it to display it. So it's going to be view bag dot days is going to be days, and then we return you back to the view. Okay, So going to go back to availability, and then we're going to have a display down here with a condition. So if viewbag dot days is not equal to null, then we'll go to display table. So we're going to have a table. So with for each loop, for each day in viewbag dot days, it's going to be row day. But so let's see how this looks like when we log in. So when we log in, I think yes, so we continue. Yes, so let's try adding so let's see if our time range worked. So let's our start time be, let's say 4 p.m. and our end time is 2 p.m. So let's say if it's going to flag us that error. Yes, the time range invalid. So it works. I think the best thing to do, we're going to need to add greater than or equal to. So because if you make this 4, the time range also doesn't make sense. So let's change this here to greater or equal to. Okay, so let's continue. Yes, the time range is still invalid, so change this to 2 p.m. Let's see. Okay, I think it was added here, but for some reasons this is black instead of white, so we have to style it to be white so we can see it. We just have to style this on top. So TR, going to have a color of white so we can see it. So if we refresh it, this is going to appear 2 times now. Yeah, that was because when we refreshed. Yes, so so next we're going to put a button here that's going to allow us to delete whatever we have here in that we don't want. So to do this, I'm going to go over here. So I'm going to add a button here. Now this button is going to be a link. with an URL no, we can't use a link, we have to use a form because there are other things we need to submit. Alright, so we're going to have a form in here. That's using HTML.begin form. So this is going to be delete day advisor from method dot post. Yeah. Yes. So I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have an input button of type hidden, and sorry, this is going to be name will be availability. Hope I spelled it right. Sorry, let me check. Usually have spelling issues. Where is availability? Yes. Control C. Alright, so yep, so I didn't spell it right. So type hidden name this, and we're going to give it a value of day. This is going to be temporary. Okay, so day, and then we're also going to have an input of type hidden and name advisor ID, of which we're going to assign the value at viewbag dot advisor ID, so we don't get to lose that information. So all of this is inside the table and data. Come on, yeah, okay. So then we're going to have a submit button. Type submit, and I'm going to give it a class of btn danger, and give it a value of x. This is to delete any unnecessary. Okay, so I think we have to stop this project because I'm going to work on the controller. So I'm going to need to create the delete day post action, which will collect this form in my advisor controller. So I want to delete all these breakpoints here, so I go to debug, and delete all breakpoints. Yeah, so far our code flow seems to be working. So I'm going to create another action. This is actually a HTTP post action. Public action results, delete day, and this takes, so this is going to be the action to delete. So first we're going to get the advisor, which is going to be delete, not delegate, delete dot, sorry, db dot tables dot find delete dot advisor id. So this is going to find that exact advisor, and then we're going to split the days of the in the availability. So advisor, that's availability yeah dot split by commas. Okay, so for each, okay, so so what we're going to do here is that we're going to create a list. This is going to help us to easily deal with the items better than an array. So I'm going to create a list of string type. I'm going to call it days list, and it's going to be days dot to list, converting it to a list. Yes, and then we're going to use a for loop to jump over each of the items in the list, and the length of the for loop is going to be days list dot count, and going to have a condition. So if days list with an index number of I is equal to delete dot availability. So if the initial item on the list happens to be the same with the selected, what I mean is if the initial option to delete happens to be the same on the list of the available, so it's going to be like this, and then we're going to delete by saying days list dot remove, and so we're going to use remove every item on the list with this information that we got from this selected availability. So with this, I think it's going to remove, and when it's done removing, then we will need to update our availability for the advisor, and this is going to be going to change we're going to have advisor dot availability is going to be days list dot to string. Change everything to a string. So before we do that, we have to append a comma to all of them, to the list of items. So I think so for each of this we're going to also append a comma to the remaining items. So I think we're going to do day list I going to be days list. Sorry, yeah, okay. Days list I plus a comma. So we could have what we will use to separate them when we turn it into a string. So we're going to see how it looks like when we're done with all this. So we're going to put breakpoint here, and we're going to run it and test and see if this works. So let's go over and log in. So we log in. Yeah, so I think there's a problem here. We supposed to have the available days we've selected before display here, so it doesn't display on the first time unless we insert another day. Okay, so now we have this excess here. We're going to sort that out. So if we select this, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. is what we want to delete. So let's see. So we select the delete, and we go over here. So let's continue and see if there's no problem, or we have an error somewhere, and that's where I have this comma. Let's go back. Let's put it back. Oh, it's twice now. So let's pause it and let's see. So let's reason this out properly. So because by the time we're performing this action here in this line, this particular data in the list is already deleted, so this is why we're having that error. So I'm going to take this out, and remember why we can't use a for each loop, because we can't be updating values in a list in a for each loop. So that's why we're making use of the for loop. So we're going to have another for loop here. Yes, iterating through the same day list that counts, and then we paste this here. So this then is going to append this to every list item. So let's continue it and see if it works. So if I hover about my availability, the string is going to be quite long, so let's see. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a problem what we chose to do here. I'm converting it to a string. It doesn't seem to be the best option, because what it's looking like here is a system collection generic list system string. No, I don't want this kind of list. I guess I'm just going to have to find another means. So I'm going to allow this continue and flag me an error. I'm going to go back, and my list keeps compiling. I'm going to try to delete this again. Now so while it appends in all of this, I'm also going to have my advisor dot availability to be equals to days lists. Okay, it's going to be okay. First, before that, I'm going to advisor dot availability is going to be null. I'm going to make it null for now, and then no. Okay, no, let's not make it null. Okay, yeah. So then advisor dot availability plus days list I. Yeah, I think this will be better, and take this out. So if this succeeds, at the end when it pauses here, we're going to hover on this to see what it has. So let's continue. So let's see. Yes, so I think this is better. So if you hover on it, you see the list of items, the different times that we selected. Yes, and of course, because we haven't updated our database, the changes will not be made by the time we continue this. So we have to let this flag that error again and go back. Yeah, our list options keep compiling, or compounding rather. So if we select this, okay, so at the end of this is what we're going to do. So going to have db dot entry bracket advisor dot state is equals to entity state dot modified, and let's not forget to add a false value to the confirm password, just any random thing, because it's not going to really cost anything there. So we selected to delete 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So let's see if it finally works. Oh shush, I didn't oh my god, making several mistakes. So db.save changes, yeah, that's coming quite late. So let it flag the same error again, go back and try to delete it again. So let's put this in a try catch block. Try. Alright, so yeah, and if it succeeds, we are going to return redirect to action. Sorry, usually have problems with spelling this. Where are you? Where's your spelling? Okay, so we're going to return us here. Control C. Alright, so it's going to return us to availability, and is alongside with the advisor objects. But if it doesn't, it's going to redirect us anyways. So see, but this time with an error. View bag dot error changes not made. Alright, so let's see how it works. So let's continue this. So it redirects us back. So that's the problem I was talking about. So whenever it brings us to the availability for the first time, it doesn't show the list of objects, and that's because we don't have the view bag dot days. And view bag dot days is a result of the availability list. So what we're going to do, going to add this, Control C. Oh, okay. And the get action of the availability, we're going to can't add this until we stop. Okay, let's stop the project. So the advisor dot go to split oh sorry, string days going to be, oh sorry, if advisor dot availability is not equal to null, then we could have an array days equals to advisor dot availability dot split by commas. Okay, yeah, and then we have viewBag dot days is equal to days. Yes, so this time around, whenever we log in, we should have a list of already added days for counseling. So we log in, and yeah, that's better. So we have that list of different items, and we have to deal with this excess buttons here because of when it splits, it still has those spaces. We're still going to handle that. Okay, so let's try to delete this. Whenever we have a repetition, it's going to delete everything. So let's try this. Okay, so it works, but it still retains this but delete button here. Try this again. Yeah, it works, but it doesn't remove this button, and we're going to sort that out now. And I think I have an idea. So this probably is happening because it still has a list of items that with the I can't really describe this unless I work it out. So let's see. Before we do anything, let's try to delete this. So okay, yeah, we pause it here. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Go over to my availability, and where we have we're supposed to display the list of days, we're going to have another condition here for the list of days is going to display. So so if day is equal to this, or this, because these are the usual things that cause to have this space. So if this is either this or this, then it doesn't show us anything else. Then we should have all this here to x. Well, this is not good logic, so just going to have the reverse of this. So first of all, let me paste this in here, and sorry, I'm going to get the inverse of this. So alright, so if we have the inverse of this, then we show the day, but if we don't show it. So okay, so I guess we got paused somewhere. Okay, so let's continue. Yeah, there's a problem. Yeah, let's look again and find out what the error could be. We're having a problem with our curly brackets. This, I'm going to have to undo a lot of things so I could trace where my problem is. Okay, so far this is what we have. Right, so I want this to be inside my if statement. Sorry, what did I just do? Control X, okay. No, I didn't copy everything. Yes. Okay. Yeah, now if they inverse now, if they equal to this or this, okay. We still have errors. Okay, yeah, so we don't need the at in here again. Alright, so I believe that should solve our problem. Alright, so let's log in again. And we have a clean work here, so this is beautiful. So it deletes all the other things. So let's see, let's add another day. Tuesday, start time 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So let's add this. Yeah, this looks beautiful, so we can delete this. And yes, so this is what we want. And next thing we're going to do, we're going to add a button that takes us to the dashboard. So after sorting this out, I'd like to collapse a number of things here. So we collapse this, collapse this. Alright, so I'm going to have a button here, or actually a link that's going to take me to my dashboard. I've not yet created that, so but it's going to be at URL that action close brackets. So the action is going to be dashboard comma, and I'm going to submit this is the action, the controller, advisor, and then we're going to have an object which is viewBag.advisor. Alright, so then this is going to be dashboard. I'm going to give it a class of btn primary. So this is going to take us to the dashboard, action which we've not yet created, but let's just see how the button looks like. If we refresh, yes, so if we click this, it's going to take us to our dashboard. So let's go ahead and create the dashboard. I'm going to stop the project and create the dashboard in our advisor controller. Alright, so I've lost track of my curly brackets. Okay, yes, so that's where it ends. So this is going to be a get action using the URL action. So public action result dashboard, and it takes an object. So we're going to say, let's just call the object login, and of course it's going to return a view. But before we return the view, we're going to pull out the actual advisor. It's going to be db.tables find advisor, login advisor id, yes, to pull out the advisor. So viewbag advisor is going to be advisor. Then we're going to also have to display to this advisor the number of students who has been assigned to it. So we're going to have the students is equal to db.students table where, yeah, so advisor id is equal to advisor id to lists. So a list of students with the same that have been assigned to this advisor. So if students is not null, then we're going to have viewbag students equals students. Yeah, and then we return to the dashboard. So let's create a dashboard view. So we right click and add dashboard. Let's add that. Right, so this is going to be our dashboard. To save me some time, I'm going to copy from the availability, Ctrl C, and paste it here, Ctrl V. But of course, there are a lot of things I need to delete here. Delete this. I totally don't need this. So okay. So this is going to be advisor dashboard, and yeah, it kind of looks like the dashboard of the student. So permit me to borrow some information from the student dashboard. Yeah, some styling there. I think it's even better to copy out everything from here. No, too much. Yes, this is what I want. Going to copy this, Ctrl C. So go over here, Ctrl V, and then we need to have the styling for the header. Control C. Now paragraphs also need to be white. Color. Alright, then this is going to be different. So this is advisor name. So we're going to have viewbag.advisor. Copy this, Control C. Okay, before I do that, Control C, paste advisor.title, yeah. Then advisor, Control C, that's surname, and last name, Control V. So it's going to be we don't need this reg number. So advisor department is going to be viewbag.advisor.department. Then we're going to now have the list of students that has been assigned. So if viewbag.students is null, then we'll simply say paragraph with the span no students or students yet to be assigned. Students yet to be assigned. And then, so else, we're going to have a table with a table row and then table headers. We're going to show you the names of the students. Control C, just copy this. The name of the student, their email, the level. There's no need showing the department because they of course has to read the same department with the advisor. So the name, the email, the level, and the reg number and the phone number. Yes, so the phone number. So these are the items they're going to display on the list. So then we're going to have a for each loop. So for each student in viewbag.students, I'm going to copy this and paste it. So it's going to be students, at students dot first name at students dot surname, or which comes first. Surname should come first. So yeah. Okay, we should change this to table data, not table headers anymore. Alright, so at students.email, table data at students.level, at students.reg number, at student.phone. Yeah, so this is what it's going to look like, the dashboard. And I think the dashboard should also be the direct place where we get to immediately we log in. That's the actual place we're supposed to go to immediately we log in, and not to the availability. But we've been using it like that because we're working on our availability. So at the login, where we ought to be going is straight to our dashboard. So let's try logging in and let's see if there's a disaster in what we did or if we did it right. So no, not student, sorry, advisor login. So let's run. Alright, so when we submit, I hope we don't have a problem. Yeah, it brings us straight to our dashboard, and yeah, name, email. So there are no students here assigned, so but it didn't show that information that we wanted to say no students assigned. We said if, okay, because this is a list, so we always forget that this should be dot count equals to 0. Yeah, so but this gives us an idea that we need to add a little space into our table items here. So let me just undo this a little for now, so we could add some space into our row. Yeah, then we add a little padding of say 3 pixel, and maybe a margin of same 3 pixel. When we refresh it, why would this be a problem? Come on. Refresh again. Oh yeah, okay. It is null. Okay, yeah. Space still very small. 7 pixel, too much. It doesn't seem to be working. Okay, yeah, this is meant to be for the table data, not the table row. Yeah, so td th comma td. Yeah, now I think 7 is going to be too much. Let's leave it at 4. Yeah, so that's way better. So what we actually want is, if no student has been assigned to this particular advisor, it shouldn't even show this. Rather, it should so we should change this to .count equal to 0. Okay, so let's refresh it. Why is this a problem? Counts cannot be used like a method. Alright, let's see, let's take a look at the advisor control and see if we could trace the problem from there. Yes, this is where we should sort that out here. Not equal to no, but if still running, I have to stop this, and then so if student.count is not equal to 0, then we have view back the students. Yes, and then we could say, so if view back the students is null, yeah, so let's log in again and see. So let's submit. Yes, so it says students yet to be assigned, so it works now. So I believe we've really gone a long way, and I think this should be almost the end. So let's see what it means to let's sign up a student from the English department and see if he gets assigned to Mercy Eze. So let's sign up a student. Random student, random student, random. So yes, so he gets assigned to Mrs. Eze Mercy, and this is Elvis Daniel with this information. So this is the advisor's room number and days she is available. So I think we should also save this, so when we log in the students we could also see some changes. So if we save this, alright, so so if we go over to advisor, go over to the login, and log in with advisor, and we submit. Now we can see this is not well arranged, so we have to make it look better than this. So we can see name, email, level, reg number. Alright, so think let's add a little styling. Give it a width 100%, like a white table, and then let's remove this and see if it could inherit the padding. Yes, so this is better. So name, email, level, reg number, phone number. So I believe this works out. So we also supposed to give the advisor an opportunity to also edit the available days. So that's what we need to do. To do that, we need to also have a button somewhere here. So after the table, sorry. URL dot action bracket, always the spelling problem, yeah, so this, Control C, Control this, advisor, then view bag dot advisor class btn primary, and this will be availability, and yeah, okay. So I would like to check one more thing at my availability, my get action, which is to confirm how, yes, so for some reasons I would need to do this. Oh, still running. Okay, I'm going to pause this here. When I refresh this, yeah, so we have the availability button here. So we select, and it brings us here. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to save advice new. It's going to be db.table .find, because it's not going to come with all the details of the advisor. Oh, it does. Oh, it does. It does. So we don't really need it. Oh, yeah. That was my fear. I thought this advisor was only going to come. Oh, that's perfect. So, yeah. So we can continue. And here we are at the availability. So we could add something again. So another day, say maybe Friday. On this time around 2 p.m. to say 5 p.m. we add that, so 8 a.m. So if the student logs in, No, not this. Yes. So if he logs in, so that change. Oh, okay, yeah. Reg number, reg number. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeesh. We have to check the database for that. So his reg number, copy this. That's what we're going to use to log in. So we paste this and we submit. Yes, so that change is made. So this is the end of this project. There was a lot of there were a lot of ups and downs. We got to see different challenging moments we had to think and use a lot of logic. But it was interesting, finally, and I really believe that you learned a lot. So, um, if you have questions, so please don't forget to drop your comments below, and we would answer them. And if this video was helpful to you, don't forget to click the like button and to subscribe to our channel. We're going to be working on other projects in the coming days, and yes, our Bootstrap 5 class is going to be coming up very soon, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. So see you next time.